Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to imagine a silence so heavy you can hear the blood rushing in your own ears. Now, imagine a void, a space so vast, so impossibly large, that you could fly a Boeing 747 through it and the wings would never touch the walls. Imagine a cavern so high that you could stack a 40-story New York skyscraper inside, and the antenna wouldn't even graze the ceiling. For millions of years, this place sat in total darkness, hidden, silent, waiting. It wasn't found by a satellite. It wasn't found by a high-tech geological survey. It was found because of a sound, a low, terrifying rumble, and a strange wind blowing from the underground. Welcome to Vietnam. Welcome to the Phong Nha-Ke National Park. And welcome to the belly of the beast. This is Hang Son Doong, the largest natural cave on the face of the earth. But calling it a cave is an insult. This isn't just a hole in the ground, it is a lost world. A place with its own jungles, its own rivers, and believe it or not, its own weather system. Today, we aren't just exploring a cave, we are traveling back in time. We are going to descend into the dark to show you a place that science said shouldn't exist, and beauty that no camera can fully capture. Put on your helmet, check your harness. We are going in. To understand the scale of Son Doong, you have to understand how easily it hides. The year was 1990. A local man named Ho Can was trekking through the dense jungles of central Vietnam. He wasn't an explorer. He was a logger looking for agarwood. The jungle here is unforgiving. Steep limestone karsts, thick vines, and razor-sharp rocks. A storm began to roll in. Desperate for shelter, Ho Can saw a cliff face. But as he approached it, he noticed something bizarre. The trees in front of the cliff were shaking violently, but there was no wind in the jungle. He stepped closer and felt it, a powerful, cool draft blasting out from the rock. And then he heard it, the roar of a rushing river coming from deep inside the mountain. Fear instinct took over. The sound was like a monster breathing. He marked the spot in his mind and fled. Here is the twist. When he returned, the jungle had reclaimed the path. The cave was lost again. For another 18 years, Son Doong remained a phantom, a local legend that nobody could prove. It wasn't until 2009 that Ho Can, aided by the British Cave Research Association, finally relocated that breathing hole. When they dropped their ropes and measured the dimensions, the numbers didn't make sense. They checked their instruments again. They had just walked into the largest cavern passage in the world. 5 kilometers long, 200 meters high, 150 meters wide. The team realized they weren't just stepping into a cave, they were stepping into a geological miracle. Entering Son Doong is the first test of your resolve. You don't walk in, you drop in. You have to rappel down an 80-meter vertical cliff. That is roughly the height of the Statue of Liberty. As you slide down the rope, the humidity hits you. The temperature drops. The sunlight from the entrance becomes a tiny star above you, and then it vanishes. You are now in the Rao Thuong River Valley, underground. The water here is a piercing turquoise blue, carving its way through limestone that is 450 million years old. Think about that number. This rock was formed before the dinosaurs walked the earth. It was here before the continents drifted apart. You are walking inside the ancient skeleton of our planet. As we move deeper, our headlamps cut through the gloom, revealing the first guardian of the cave. We call it the Hand of Dog. It's a massive stalagmite, standing 70 meters tall. It looks like a giant paw clawing at the dark. In any other cave, this would be the main attraction. Here, it's just the entryway decoration. But look up. Do you see that mist? Those aren't just damp patches. Those are clouds, real clouds. Because the cavern is so massive and the temperature difference between the outside jungle and the inside river is so extreme, moisture gets trapped and condenses. It rains inside the cave. It creates a surreal, dreamlike atmosphere. You feel small, not just physically small, but existentially small. The cave doesn't care that you are here. It demands respect. We are now 3 kilometers deep. By all logic, we should be in total darkness. But up ahead, there is a glow. This is the moment that breaks your brain. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the ceiling of the cave became too heavy and collapsed. These collapses are called dolines. They act like skylights, letting the sun pierce the underworld. And where there is light, there is life. Beneath this massive hole in the roof, a jungle has grown. A full ecosystem thriving 300 meters beneath the surface. The explorers named this area "Watch Out for Dinosaurs." And frankly, the name fits. Ferns the size of cars, trees shooting up 30 meters to catch the light, moss covering the limestone in a vibrant electric green. If a velociraptor jumped out from behind a rock right now, you wouldn't even be surprised. But the life here is strange. Evolution has taken a different path in the darker corners. We find fish in the pools that have no eyes. Why waste energy growing eyes when you live in eternal blackness? We find white spiders, transparent wood lice. These creatures are the ghosts of biology, adapted perfectly to a world without sun. Moving past the first jungle, we reach the second collapse, the Garden of Eden. Tread carefully here. Look at the ground. It looks like someone spilled a bag of gray baseballs. These are cave pearls. In normal caves, cave pearls are tiny, the size of a pea. They form when water drips down, rotating a grain of sand and coating it in layers of calcite, just like an oyster makes a pearl. But because Son Doong is so huge and the water force is so strong, the pearls here have grown to the size of baseballs. It takes thousands of years for one of these to form. One careless footstep could destroy 10 millennia of geological art. This is why tourism here is so strictly controlled. Only about 1,000 people enter this cave a year. Fewer people have stood where we are standing right now than have stood on the summit of Mount Everest. We have trekked for days. Our muscles are burning. We are soaked, muddy, and exhausted. But the cave has one final challenge left, a boss fight. Looming in front of us is a 90-meter vertical wall of calcite mud. It is slick, slippery, and terrifyingly high. They call it the Great Wall of Vietnam. There is no way around it. The only way out is up. This is where the mental game begins. You are in the dark. You are tired. The mud sucks at your boots. Every step is a battle against gravity. But as you pull yourself up, meter by meter, you start to see it. A sliver of light. Not the artificial beam of a headlamp, but the warm, golden, chaotic light of the sun. The air starts to smell different. It smells like rain and soil and life. Pulling yourself over the lip of the Great Wall is a feeling of resurrection. You emerge from the underworld, covered in the mud of ages, blinking into the daylight. Why do we do this? Why do we crawl into the dark? Son Doong is more than just a tourist destination. It is a reminder. In a world that is mapped, tracked, paved, and digitized, there are still mysteries. There are still places on this earth that are wild and untamed. This cave lay hidden for millions of years, protecting its secrets. Now it is Vietnam's gift to the world, a masterpiece of nature that demands we protect it as fiercely as it challenges us. If you ever get the chance to come to Quang Binh, to put on the helmet and walk into the infinite hollow, take it. Because standing inside Son Doong changes you. It whispers to you that the world is bigger, older, and more beautiful than you ever dared to imagine. Thank you for journeying with us into the deep.